this more direct approach from Hansi Flick, and whether or not it can lead to success for Barcelona at this summer's Olympic Games for this following season. Barcelona, historically they've been a tiki-taka team, possession-oriented style of play, really rely on the technical ability of teams, really rely on creativity to create their opportunities rather than just good old-fashioned the German style of pressing high up the field and winning it. That's not normally been their game. Yes, they press up high and they win the ball high and they create off that, but most of the time, most of the chances creation is through ball possession, through playing with the ball, dominating possession, and really being able to have players that are tidy and creative and that can break down teams. Hansi Flick wants a little bit more of a direct style. You remember watching him with Bayern Munich. This was a team that pressed up all the way up, constant pressure, high up the field. As soon as they lost the ball, it was immediate press. The back line was almost at the halfway line. They relied on players running in behind with their pace, like Alphonso Davies and Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry. They were very, very direct in the way that their wingers directly attacked their fullbacks and open up space by other teammates by beating on man's one-on-one. They didn't really pass the ball around, pass the ball to death like Barcelona did. They were very, very direct, and that's how they were able to get their success. And for me, that's a brilliant style, and that's been the style that's been rather more successful over the past few seasons. That sort of style of play. You see what Jurgen Klopp has been able to do with Liverpool. That success has been really been dominant and has been successful at different sort of clubs, for Premier League clubs, for Bundesliga clubs. So, I don't see why Hansi Flick can go into Barcelona and won't be successful there. The quality of player is there, it's not the quality that Real Madrid has necessarily, but there's still some quality in that Barcelona team. They have Lamine Yamal, who was able to show his directness at this European Championship. Now, if he's able to get Nico Williams, that is absolutely beautiful, because you got those two wingers that are direct, that can take on opponents, but also has the technical ability that's required to play at Barcelona. Now, that defensively, I do question whether this defense can defend in that high manner that Hansi Flick wants to play. If they can defend that high up, playing almost at midfield, I don't know. It'll be something that remains to be seen. It's something I need to see in general. And then especially there's a little bit of a question at right back right now. So I'm interested to see what they do there. That's going to be fascinating to watch. But no, Hansi Flick, when he was talking about this, he talked about how he respects the club's possession-oriented passing style, but he wants to be more direct, and his approach is focused on getting the ball into the back of the net. Barcelona appointed the former Bayern Munich, former German and Bayern Munich manager on a 2-year contract after they sacked Xavi. This was a Barcelona team that won trophyless last season, which is not acceptable for Barcelona, but it was also Barcelona. We know they're not at the level of previous Barcelonas. They're in a bit of a financial hold here. That's just the truth, and that's what Xavi got in trouble for, actually, talking about that financial issue. Obviously, Hansi Flick is not going to make that same sort of mistake. But but they're in a bit of a financial issue, and they can't spend the money that Real Madrid can with they just don't have that ability right now to compete with them financially. especially, I think, Real Madrid, they were the first team ever to announce a $1 billion revenue intake. That's just crazy. But yeah, speaking about the club, Hansi Flick said, here the tradition is to play with passing, but I also want them to go straight to the goal. They should focus a bit more on scoring. I don't think my style has any major changes. I'm looking for the same thing, to press high up, but to play in the opponent's midfield. But at the end of the day, everything is about winning games. He says they should focus a bit more on scoring. I don't think my style has any major changes. I disagree because Barcelona, yes, in the past, they did still press high and they suffocated teams and they won the ball high up. But when they win the ball high up, it wasn't a go at the goal, and their main form of creation, the difference is, number one, I think the intensity of press amongst this team and amongst what Hansi Flick wants to do is different. I think there's more higher intensity, more reliant on pressing to create. I think with Barcelona in the past, they had like a measured approach of pressing. I think with Hansi Flick, with how high that they play, there's no measured approach. As soon as you lose the ball, you go attack them 99 miles per hour and win that ball back right away. And then the difference between previous Barcelonas and what Hansi Flick is going to try to do with Barcelona this season is, when you win the ball back, you don't look to, move the ball and start trying to break them down again and trying to create again. Barcelona teams in the past, they'd press up high, they'd win the ball, and then they would reset and try to break them down again and use the quality that they have to try to break them down. With the manager like Hansi Flick and the way that he wants to do it, you win the ball high up and then you're one pass away. You make that one pass straight going to goal, and you get that good chance. That's their form of creation. Barcelona, they didn't rely on press to create for them. Hansi Flick at Barcelona, he's gonna rely on this press to create the opportunities for them. As soon as they win the ball high up, they're gonna try to play the ball in behind to Lewandowski, or they're gonna try to swing it out to Lamine Yamal or Nico Williams to work one-on-one and to get a shot off in a great chance. And I think, look, I was talking to Manny when he was on the show a few weeks ago, or now it's been a few months or so, Barcelona fan, talking about how this Barcelona style of play, I think this new shift of style of play is going to be good for Barcelona, because I think what they're doing is getting a little bit outdated. And it was interesting because now you see the way Spain did. Spain won the European Championship, and they added that a little bit element of verticality. I think if Barcelona can adopt what Spain did, still rely on your pure ability to control the ball and have good quality technical players that can play the Johan Cruyff game of pass the ball around to death and being able to control possession, but also have that added element of being able to play vertical and not having to sometimes make it easy for yourself to break them down. It doesn't have to be a 100 passes, pass the ball into the back of the net. Sometimes take the defender on one-on-one and shoot the ball and press the ball up high and don't look back or sideways for the easy ball and try to play that, dangerous, risky ball in behind. I think if they can find that correct balance, I think this can make this Barcelona team deadly. Now, obviously, they're still in that financial hole, and if they don't have the players, they don't have right now. They don't have a number 6. They don't have a number 6. If they bring in Dani Olmo, which they're rumored to do, that doesn't solve their issue of number 6. In fact, you put Frenkie de Jong in a position that he's generally not his best at. He can play that position, but he's not. You still need high quality players for this to make it work. And I think they have something that they're building. Frenkie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Gundogan. If they're able to get in the likes of Nico Williams, Ronald Araujo, there's some brilliant players in the side. Don't get me wrong, but to take that next step, I think they're gonna have to. To take that next step, I think they're gonna have to get more players in. And get that, get a replacement for Sergio Busquets. I don't think they've still been able to replace him. Get a replacement for Sergio Busquets. Even later down the stretch of his career, even though he was a little bit over the line, they still needed him to play because he was the only player that could play that position. I think they've been long overdue for that Sergio Busquets replacement, and I think it needs to come for them if they really want to compete with Real Madrid.